I just lost someone who happened to be my friend. It's not just me. I lost someone that I deeply cared about. His name is Alonzo. He was such a good kid. You know, he just was a kid that was just a product of his environment. Given a different environment, he could have thrived. He didn't deserve to die for anything. He was such a good friend. He was a good student. I have no words for what happened, except I urge you all. There's going to be a comment on this video. Go and give out if you want to give money um, for his funeral. That's going to be held. You can go up to 10K right now. $2,180 has been raised. That is basically my main point of this video. Go out and go fund them. There will be a link in the comments. Copy that, or it should take you to it, and you can just go fund them. It doesn't matter if it's $1 or $2. I'm going to be explaining the life of Alonzo. I did not know when Alonzo was born. Matter of fact, I don't even know his birthday. I know what year. He was born in 2010. Same year I was born. He was 14 years old. And what happened is I'll get to it. I'll explain what happened. It needs to be spoke out loud for everything that's happened, especially something that happened to a kid this young. I met Alonzo back in 7th grade. No, I met him in like 6th or 7th grade at first. I met him off of a friend of a friend. That was the first time I met. Came to school with them in 7th grade. I did not like that school. He didn't really like the school either, but I've heard from him. And what happened was it was April 21st, 2025, which was a couple days ago. You know what? I'll explain. We weren't really the best of friends in school. Besides us just knowing each other and knowing a friend of a friend, we didn't really know each other. He moved in a couple doors down from me. And we started talking as friends. Started hanging out more. I knew his brother. He was like 7. His brother loved me. He wanted to always come outside and play. Every time Alonzo was there, I would say, "Yo, you want to go outside?" or something like that. Um, all the time. Um, and I knew him. We just hung out. We played football. I went to his house to spend the night once, not knowing that that'd be the last sleepover that I'd have with him. She had the same interests as me. He loved sports. He was a Cowboys fan. He he loved it cold whenever you go to sleep, which, man, I mean, I like it cold too, so um he loved to play video games. Madden, Fortnite. I was his favorite video games. He had some extras that you'd also play. Overall, Alonzo resembled me a lot. He had a lot in common. Way more than I thought about. Not knowing that someone like that, someone like me, the only difference was is he hung around the crowds and I didn't. I chose not to hang around those crowds because I knew that I didn't want to be a part of any bad stuff like that that could get me in trouble. Alonzo decided he wanted to hang out with them crowds, and unfortunately led to his death. It sucks. I mean, I'm not saying it's his fault. You know, the guy should have never pulled the trigger. But he, I wanted him to get out of there so bad. I knew what was going on. He was a compassionate, loving person. He wanted to be in the military. He wanted to go and serve the military. But unfortunately, he's 4 years short from doing that. I was his friend. I miss him. Y'all do. When I found out about it, I don't want to believe it, and I still don't. Looking at all the picture, such a happy kid, and his life gets taken away by one bullet. I moved out in May. I hadn't talked to him since. The last conversation I had with him was, why do you hang out with that crowd? You know, you can like go, find better friends or something like that. Or get into a better crowd or like come hang out with me. His response was, I don't know. He said he just wants to. Says that he likes them, that those are his friends. And I said, okay. And I said, well, I'm gonna go home. He said, okay. I said, well, I'll text you whenever like I get the chance. He said, okay. And I said, all right, bro, peace. He said, bye. Last conversation I had with him. Now knowing 11 months later, he'd be shot and killed in his own apartment. Someone that was so cool. Such a loving person. He's compassionate for everything. He never quit. He worked hard for everything he had. And take over the day. All I know is, hold on. Let me get this. All we know is I'm going to read this. Greeley police respond to a 500 block of 16th Street, Sunlight Townhomes, just a few blocks from the University of Northern Colorado, which is a college. At about 7 p.m., officers respond to a 500 block of 16th Street where they found the victim who had been shot and was unresponsive, according to police. The victim was later pronounced dead. Police contacted and interviewed witnesses. A juvenile suspect was arrested and booked, according to their police. Information about the victim and suspect are being withheld due to their age. Police believe that this was an isolated incident. This shooting happened at Sunlight Townhome, 16th Street, just a block away. It's busy with restaurants, shops, and students walking around. Kathleen Flores, who lived at the Sunlight Townhomes for 3 years, said her husband saw one of the teenagers running to the railroad track just a few minutes before ambulance arrived. Within 5 to 10 minutes after that, the paramedics came back outside empty-handed. There was no gurney. There was no one on the gurney, so we knew it was a bad sign. She said the boy who was killed seemed to be a good kid and was kind to her children. He stayed at his home a lot with his 3-year-old brother, fed him, took care of him, watched him, so I knew he was a really good, caring, compassionate person. He was not 3. I mean, he was like 6, 7. She said he hung around with an edgier crowd, but they weren't kids to be that violent, not to the point where one would kill each other. She said her planning is moving out within the next 2 months. Ongoing violence and safety concerns that has been increased in the past year. Honestly, given what happened, my question is, where are the parents and how is it going with the children? Anyone with the information about the shooting is asked to call Detective Jonathan Bowell with the Greeley Police Department at 970-652-8235. That's what they said. What happened? You heard it. What I heard is that they were in an argument. I heard another story that they were just playing around with a gun. And my initial thought was an argument, because why would a friend do that? But I don't know what to believe. And either way, Alonzo was killed. He was shot in the head, one bullet. They ran out the house. And he turned himself in. This is a tragic thing that happened in Greeley. It sucks. Prayers go out to Alonzo, L.L.A. If anybody here who knew Alonzo, so sorry that this happened to either your nephew, son, brother, grandson, or his mom or dad, aunt or uncle. It doesn't matter who, his cousin. If you are his friend, I am super sorry that this had to happen. It was 100% preventable. But unfortunately, people make bad decisions. And that kid there made a really bad one, considering he's about to spend a lot of time in jail. Colorado doesn't go easy on murders. He's going to spend at least a couple years in jail, maybe his whole life. Just remember, he doesn't get to live his life because he decided to take away another. Accident or not, you still killed a person. And that was your friend. I don't care if you guys got into an argument. All I care about is that my friend is now gone because you guys decided to play around with the gun or get into an argument. And at the end of the day, you still pulled the trigger. Thank you for all the time you spent with me, Alonzo, even though it was such a short time. Thank you there for being with me. I hope you're resting in heaven. See you then.